Okay, for today's lesson, the big focus is really on these incredibly useful ratios. Um, and we've talked about using ratios to compare side lengths of right triangles a little bit so far. And what this lesson really does is just kind of highlights this last sentence and this learning target at the top. Understand that the values of these ratios are constant. So what they show is that when we know a certain acute angle, so the right angle is always fixed. So they're talking about the other angles that we might know. So for example, the angle at vertex A or the angle at vertex B. They're really talking about if we know some ratios and knowing that these are constant by examining a variety of right triangles, then we can use them to find missing side lengths. So by setting up proportions. So that's the big idea. So I'm just going to walk you through just kind of expressing these ratios to start. And then I think that we should be pretty successful with this lesson. And if not, I'll be back prior to you guys having to go to school again. And we can really go over and cover this with some more depth. So it says name the side lengths of name the side of the triangle opposite vertex A. So that would really be BC. So if you're just wanting to make sure you're setting this up the way they're labeling, that would be BC, because if I'm looking at vertex of A, the opposite length would really be BC, kind of as shown right there. Okay, so if we continue, and we're just going to answer a few of these, and then I'll set you guys loose, I think, because this should be pretty quick, a lot of it, I hope. So then it says name the side of the triangle opposite B. Well, opposite B would be side length AC, and then name the side of the triangle opposite C. That would be AB. Okay, so then if I were to continue down with this, it says for each exercise, label the appropriate sides as adjacent, opposite, and hypotenuse with respect to the marked acute angle. So just to be clear, the acute angle that they're referring to is this one A, and so if we're going to label the different side lengths, I would want to start by, by just writing what the angles that are opposite, or the side lengths that are opposite this acute angle. So for example, we're given acute angle F, so the angle D, or side length DE, we would call that the opposite. So I'm just going to put OPP for opposite. The side length directly next to that acute angle F would be called the adjacent, so I'll just label that ADJ. And then the hypotenuse we know is always opposite the right angle, so I label that one HYP. So I'm just using kind of this notation, and when it asks me to now set up these ratios, such as opposite over adjacent, adjacent over hypotenuse, and so on, you'll now know that from the given acute angle, that's how we can set up those ratios. So I'll do one more on this last example, and then I think I'll call that good. So you guys are actually going to be finding some of these ratios, finding the value, which implies that you'll need to divide. So, but that should be pretty clear for most of us. Okay, so moving down to this example number 5. So again, I'm really looking at this as my acute angle that I'm labeling off of. So if we're doing that, then we know this would be the adjacent, this is my hypotenuse, and this is my opposite. Okay, so I think I'm going to set you guys loose from there. We'll see how it goes. So remember, one of our goals for this week is to try to wrap up all those lessons that you've been given, so there should be 4 lessons, including this one. If you're struggling or there were some unanswered questions, don't hesitate to kind of push off or wait until next week when I'm back, and we'll definitely have some time to kind of work through some things together. So do your best, and we'll pick things up when I return on Monday. Have a good day off.